Welcome to the What's Happening Birmingham video podcast.
What lies inside all of us is more than data, it's life. What's flowing through America's veins is its diversity. And it's those very differences that will lead to answers for generations to come.
Hello, everyone. This is Jarvis Escott with What's Happening in Birmingham. Today, I have the honor and pleasure in welcoming back Truman Fitzgerald. He is the Assistant Public Information Officer for your Birmingham Police Department. Officer Fitzgerald, thanks for coming back on again today.
Good morning, Jarvis. Glad to be back. Happy New Year.
You too. I hope you staying warm. And one thing we talked about before we started this podcast, that one thing that stops crime is cold weather, believe it or not.
That's true.
I mean, woo, I guess everybody trying to stay warm. So want to bring Truman on today to kind of discuss, since we're starting a new year, it's time to kind of look back on 2023. He's giving me access and time, and probably public access to some of the stats. So Officer Fitzgerald, I'm going to let you lead the way.
So the biggest decrease that we saw in our stats were our homicides. And what we like to say with that homicide decrease is, although by the numbers our homicides decrease, we're certainly not proud of the final numbers of homicides. We had around 135 homicides for 2023. And although that may be a decrease than the previous year, that's certainly something that we're not going to celebrate. So we are thankful that about 9 less families got that call from the coroner's office, but we're still not satisfied with 135 people losing their life in our city.
So I want to say it was the other way around, 126 than 135.
Well, 135 people lost their life total. 126 of those were criminal cases. The other cases were ruled justifiable by the district attorney's office, which we don't consider them being any less of, a traumatic event for that family, with the DA justifying them. That's still somebody that lost their life.
Okay, cool. And before we had started, percentage of those that was solved, you could say around about half and half?
Around half and half, which is a number we normally meet yearly. We see about half of our homicides solved, half unsolved. And a lot of that depends heavily on the community's involvement that year.
And next big change I saw on there, that rapes are down by 35%.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I know you all look at these stats. Do you see anything that triggered some of these changes, possibly?
Well, the biggest change that we can point out is if you look at the auto theft stat. So let's take a look at that auto theft stat. In 2022, the Birmingham Police Department investigated 1,433 auto thefts. And we have to give this disclaimer when we talk about auto thefts. Mm-hmm. So the FBI requires us to classify when a person uses a vehicle without the owner's permission.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That is auto thefts too. Okay. So with that 1,433, that number, those weren't all, hey, somebody got their car stolen.
Okay.
Numbers may be son borrowed mom's car and then give it back and mom reported it. So I say that to say we had 1,433 cases in 2022. We had 1,782 cases in 2023. That number rose by about 24%. The biggest trend we saw was Kia and Hyundai thefts increase.
Yeah, I saw that.
Then that led to our auto theft stats being through the roof. And if you may not have seen, there's a trend going on TikTok and other social media sites where there's a defect in Hyundais and Kias from, I believe it's 2015 to 2021, where you can steal the cars because of a safety defect with a simple USB drive. And ton of Kias and Hyundais stolen.
Well,
At one point in 2023, Kia and Hyundai thefts had risen 300% alone from the previous year.
and I can only imagine if this person was an insurance agent, what would your
Oh yeah.
man.
Oh yeah.
The
The young lady,
insurance.
my boss, she drives a Hyundai. So I
Oh
was
wow.
gonna get jacked.
Oh my goodness. One thing while it's on my mind, I know the stats may not be on here. I know I had went to Mayor Woodfin's strategic plan back in blueprint update back in December. And he was talking about how many firearms you all got, illegal firearms you all got off the streets. Do you have any stats on that yet? How many so far? Or are you all still working on that?
Still working on that, but let us point out that number is going to drop
Okay.
heavily because what happened last year that was different than previous years.
Mhm.
State of Alabama allowed everyone to carry a pistol without a permit, if of course you're not banned federally from possessing one. So
Okay.
those numbers are going to drop tremendously.
Okay.
And that law single-handedly has affected how we police, because before, the mere possessing a gun, it gave us, a right to say, hey, do you have a pistol permit? Now we have to assume that everyone is able to carry because of the fact that we're an open carry state. You don't have to have a pistol permit anymore. So it changes officers police.
Yeah, and then I look at it too. Also, if I was an officer, I'd be a little bit more like gets cautious. But like if you approach it from that mindset, you don't know, just increases the danger. You get what I'm saying? As far as someone approaching the vehicle that you don't know if this person may fire on. So it's
you have to you always want to be, of course, alarmed that people might have a weapon, but now everyone has a right to have a weapon because there's no pistol permit law.
Oh wow! Dig right back into the stats. I see that robberies was down almost 3%, 2.9.
Yes, sir, and that's just going to be purely from the community.
Okay. And violent crime, total violent down 1%. Change. What would you want? Looking at these stats, and I think this is also a trend. I think I saw a news article about crime is down overall nationwide.
And that's just attributed to the community. And I can think just off the top of my head, one stat that stands out to me is the youth violence. Okay. In 2022, I believe I was looking at some stats, and we lost 14 of our youth to violence. Okay. Fast forward to 2023, and we lost, I believe it was 8. So, you look at it like, yeah, that might not seem like much, from 14 lives to 8, but it is, because that's 6 less families that lost their kid. So we're seeing trends that we're proud of, and those trends depend on the community 100%, and they are the ones that need to be celebrated, not the Birmingham Police Department, because a lot of these crimes are decreased because that's just simply the community not going out committing those certain crimes. So it's not anything that I think we can take credit for at the Birmingham Police Department. It's purely on the community stepping up and just changing their behavior.
And another thing I want to mention, a new initiative you all are rolling out called Connect Birmingham.
Connect Birmingham is a game changer.
Mm-hmm.
And Connect Birmingham, what that does is it allows people to have their recording systems, ADT, Vivint, any security system that you already have at your house or your business. It allows our Birmingham Police Department's Real-Time Crime Center to have the access to that camera footage if they need it. And what you can do is you can register your camera system. And by registering your camera system, all you're doing is saying, hey, I have a recording system in the area if you need to look at it. Often people think that it's a way for the Birmingham Police Department to spy on them, and that's not the case, because we only would view that camera footage if we thought a major event took place and the camera may have captured something.
So is
And
this still?
there's an even greater feature called camera integration. And what that does is that allows you to have your camera system be tapped into our real-time crime system in real time.
Mhm.
So it would just be the same as if a security company was viewing your camera footage live. Our officers would have live access. And that would be a great benefit for maybe a business or a warehouse.
You all launched the Connect Birmingham. Which month did you all launch it last year?
I believe
The
towards November. The mayor and Chief Thurman launched, I believe it was in November.
okay. So anybody listening, you want to be part of the solution, you want to help solve some crimes? There you go. That's a program for you. And people can stay completely anonymous. Who's a part of it?
We try to keep everyone anonymous. And here's the benefit of the Connect Birmingham system. Connect Birmingham is all technology. And what you're doing is you're allowing technology to be the witness. So before, the old school way was someone witnessed a crime
Mm-hmm.
and the person got on the witness stand and had to testify.
Mm-hmm.
When you invest in Connect Birmingham, you're allowing your security system to be that witness. So what we're doing is we're taking that surveillance footage and that's being shown in court. No one's having to stand up in court. No one's having to face, a defendant. The technology is doing the testifying. So, you have this notion in our community, we're scared to be a witness because we're afraid in court, we might be identified. Well, Connect Birmingham allows you to go almost unnoticed because the surveillance system is giving us everything we need. Whereas before we would have to depend purely on that witness.
Yeah, and the thing about it too is, and also, is no way you could tell what that video came. Whether was it somebody's house or somebody's business? It's just showing the video footage.
That's it. It's just showing the video footage.
And I think that's really neat.
And another thing, Jarvis, let me point out this. So I found out last year from Crime Stoppers that Crime Stoppers will reward our community members for their camera footage in cases the same way they would reward them if you called in a verbal tip. So Jarvis, you have a camera system at your house and a crime is committed in front of your house. You look at your surveillance footage and you call in Crime Stoppers and say, hey, my camera footage caught this crime while it was being committed. Crime Stoppers will reward you the cash reward the same way as if you called in and witnessed it.
Oh, wow. That's very good.
So you're get paid just off your camera footage recording something.
Yeah, and that's the same thing like if it's a local business with the cameras as well, right?
Business. If a local business captured a crime and they submit that to Crime Stoppers, you put your name in the hat to be eligible for that cash reward, just as someone would if they called in the Crime Stoppers, and that's straight from the Crime Stoppers team.
Okay, that's really neat. Now another thing I read in the news, I saw Operation All Out. Can you tell me a little more about that?
Operation All Out is an operation that we launch towards the end of the year, every year. And it's our way of trying to bring in the new year as safe as we can and to decrease crime as much as we can going into the new year. And what we do is we take officers who are in specialized units. We want to point that out first. We're not pulling officers from neighborhoods. We're pulling officers that were already not responsible for responding to calls. And we just put them in whatever area we feel the most crime is being committed. And at the Birmingham Police Department, we look at stats daily. And so what Operation All Out does is we analyze those stats from the day before and we go, hey, we've had burglaries increase in this area. We're going to send the team here. Hey, we've had a robbery take place in this area. We're going to send the team there. And what you see is that the crime in that area decreases to the point where it's almost non-existent.
Okay. Yeah, because that is definitely really good. One thing I always like to do whenever you come on the podcast is always for you make a personal pitch to anybody that's thinking about joining police force. A lot of people always talk about we're going to be part of the solution. Here you go.
Well, I would like to say This is January 19th, 2024. In a few weeks, there is an academy class from 2004 who will be coming up on retirement. And I always like to point that out. Keep in mind, this class started the Birmingham Police Department in February 2004.
Oh,
and
wow.
in a few weeks, they'll be able to retire and get a check for the rest of their life. And all they did was work for 20 years. And when you look at other employers, you may have to work 30 plus years before you get a retirement check. You come to Birmingham, you work 20 years, and you leave with a check for the rest of your life.
Oh man, yeah, 25 years. That's pretty good. Any final thoughts you want to leave with the public? I know, like I first started the podcast talking about, with cold weather, that kind of brought the crime down a little bit. But, overall, like you said, the nationwide trend, the local trend, I think even the start of this year, we really didn't have the first homicide to about the 6th or the 7th.
That's true. That's true. We're proud of the community. They've stepped up, but here's what we need from the community going in 2024. There are a lot of crimes that are being witnessed, but no one's coming forward. And we just want the community to realize, like, you have the power to change your community, because we have detectives who know firsthand who committed the offense against, whether their victim was a person or a business, but no one is coming forward. And what you do when you don't come forward is you allow that suspect to feel emboldened to do it again, which we see so many times is people just don't stop with that one crime. They go out and continue to commit crime. So we need the community to really buy in to the thought that they are the police just as much as we are.
Yeah, I even think nowadays too, like going back, more like to say with the Connect Birmingham, even if you don't feel safe about coming forward, that program presents a way for you just nonchalantly, I hate to say nonchalantly, help solve crime and help police aid and, trying to solve a lot of these. Because like you said, last year, half of those homicides is families that don't have answers to what happened to their loved ones.
That's true. That's true. Even if you aren't the one that's going to be on the witness stand, you are still doing your part by helping your community, because that surveillance footage may be the only lead that detective has in the case. And you're still doing your part to serve your community. Okay.
Well, Officer Fitzgerald, thank you for coming on today. If they need to reach you all, the police department, what's always that great magic number?
205. Here you go. Here's the non-emergency number: 205-329-311. But if it's an emergency, of course, 911.
Okay. Well, officer, thank you for coming on today. I always enjoy, talking with you. And if you all know this face, whenever you see him on news, he's always the first on the scene. I don't know when he sleeps, but he sleeps at some point. He sleeps at some point.
You gotta get it in while you can.
Yes, he does. He sleeps at some point. So thank you all for watching. Please check out what'shappenedbirmingham.com for more interviews. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and check out the audio version of this on Apple Podcasts. Thank you all again. It's January, everybody. Let's have a great year. But most importantly, let's be safe. And if you see something, say something.
Say something.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Jarvis.
Thank you for watching the What's Happening Birmingham video podcast. Please check out our website, app, or subscribe to our YouTube channel for the latest videos today.